that was a chimney. That's where it was. Would you look at the shit mess I'm stuck in? I didn't think it was this bad. Anyway, this asshole came around my house. This video is about Jimmy Dore. And I decided, okay, I'm going to have to make this video about Jimmy Dore. This asshole came around my house, right? This lefty asshole, I happen to know. He doesn't come around to see me, by the way, but he comes around often. And he came in, and I was watching Jimmy Dore on the big screen, on the big TV screen, which he owns, by the way, because his roof is fucked and his house is getting fixed up. He can't leave his TV in there, it's going to get wet, so he has to leave it here with me. So I'm watching this shit on his TV, and he comes in, he turns around, he looks at Jimmy Dore and he says, that guy there, he's a conspiracy theorist, so he is. He's fucking Irish. This guy's Irish, right? From way down the south of Ireland. He's a fucking conspiracy theorist, he is. And I said to him, you know, that's what all you lefties do all the time. When you get confronted by somebody who states out the facts to you, right? And you don't like it, you immediately call him a conspiracy theorist, or he's this, or he's that, he's the other thing. Anyway, before I talk about Jimmy Dore, let me tell you a story that goes back a long time. And it concerns Alexander the Great and the Emperor of Bharat at the time, the Emperor Chandragupta, and his Prime Minister, Chanakya Pandit, right? Now, these were very powerful people. Chanakya Pandit was the Prime Minister of Bharat, of India, under the Emperor Chandragupta, but over him, because Chanakya Pandit, many of you have probably heard of him, you all probably have. He never received a salary for being Prime Minister. He lived in a small hut in the forest, but he was the wisest man that lived. He's the advisor to the king, and he's a Brahmin caste. He was above the king. The king is from the Kshatriya class, the administrators and warrior class. They're the next class down. And the merchant class, the Vaisya class, are the third caste. And then the fourth caste is the Sudra, who are the strong, healthy, clever workers who build the world. So those four castes, anyway. So Chanakya Pandit was above the king. The king could not operate without his advice, and the king had to take his advice. He was the spiritual advisor to the king. Anyway, you all saw the movie Alexander the Great. I don't know where all they fucking got all these Dublin guys from, you know. They got their ass kicked over there. It's famous, Chandragupta and his elephant army, or famous army. And some of these guys' last words were, and it's fucking in the film, it was terrible, in a Dublin accent. Alexander, where are all these fucking elephants coming from? Alexander had to fuck off back with his mother, who's younger than him. His wife, you never forget her. His boyfriend, the whole lot, all fucked off back. Anyway, what am I talking about? I'm talking about Chanakya Pandit, okay? Now, as I said, he was the wisest man that ever lived. And he wrote a lot of stuff. I have a copy in my house. Maybe if you want me to read it to you someday, I will. It's called The Ethic Aphorisms of Chanakya Pandit. Yeah. And they're like little verses that he wrote on, you know, life and living, all that. Anyway, the foresters were in the forest and they were chopping down all the trees. And, oh look, my cup of tea, I forgot about it. Imagine you're on your roof and you bring a cup of tea up, put it on the fucking slope, man. Foresters were chopping down trees in the forest. There was this one tree in the forest that they couldn't chop down. Every time they attacked it, they broke their axe handle. It smashed. The tree was the hardest tree in the world and it couldn't be broken. So, one day, they were walking through the forest, on their way to the tree, and they bumped into who? None other than Chania Pandit. And they told him this story, and he said, well, this is what you have to do. You have to go and cut a branch off that tree, and you make your axe handle out of that branch, and then you will be able to cut down this tree. So that's what they did. They went into the forest, got the branch of the tree, chopped it off, brought it home, made an axe handle out of it, made an axe, went in there, bang. This is hard enough. This is the one that will take down the tree. And it did. So Jimmy Dore is a Democrat. Now, we have no interest in politics, us, but we keep an eye on things, okay? Anyway, your man came through the door and he goes, that Jimmy Dore fella, he's a conspiracy theorist. I says, no, he's not. He's a political analyst. He said he's an independent journalist. And I said, he just addressed the General Assembly of the United Nations. They don't have conspiracy theorists come in and address the General Assembly of the United Nations. And his direct answer, straight back at me, without thinking, was, yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yes, they fucking do. But they have conspiracy theorists come in and talk to me. And I said, now, Jimmy is hosting the presidential debates. Ah, ha, ha. He ain't going to hold back. Jimmy's a lifelong Democrat. Jimmy is the axe that can chop down the Democrat tree, because he's made of the same stuff as they are. He's a lifelong Democrat from somewhere around New York, like all these crazy people from New York are all lifelong Democrats. I mean, look at this shit mess I got to clear up. But he will not. He's a real, living, conscious man. And he stood up against them. He stood up against tyranny. He'll stand up against wrong. He will stand up against wrong. What's wrong, right? So being a Democrat, and all them motherfuckers being Democrats, and him going into adjudicate on this debate, no other can do this. He's made of the same stuff they are, and he's the axe that can chop their tree down. You watch what happens. Look over there. My tree, I didn't notice until I was up here on this roof. It broke, and it fell on the fucking other roof, and it's damaged and cracked a load of tiles underneath that big Velux window. So I got to get up there, I got to fix that as well. I got to fix that. I just fixed that other one that you can see the far side, the big tall one. Now I'm fucking fixing this one. And I'm up here and hammering in and unscrewing and shit. And I'm fucking a lot. I'm still very high off the ground. I mean, if I fell down there, I'd fucking be wild before I got back up again. And I'm thinking of Jimmy Dore, and I'm thinking about the whole bullshit situation that is on the periphery of our little movement, because we're looking at truth. Well, not just looking at truth, we're trying to point out the liars and the lies, and explain to the guy next to us that these are a bunch of liars and this is a bunch of lies, even though they does not compute. Wouldn't want to fall down. Look at how rotten it all got. This asshole chimney made out of fucking breeze blocks, and I've got proper chimney blocks. And I said to a guy, I said, you know what they're made from? I was told volcanic rock. He says, no, they fucking aren't. They're made from dust that they fucking throw away out of the nuclear power stations. That is like a fire break and will stand the heat. And I said, what the fuck? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm sticking 4 of them in there and fixing this roof. Look at this. This is a bread oven. Down in there's a bread oven, and that's the roof of the bread oven underneath there. They used to make bread here, but the Nazis used to come and get it, and then the fucking French Waffen Nazis used to come and tax the people that made bread. Look, they've got a ladybird on my hand. Hello, ladybird. And what do you call it in my hand? Oh, ladybird walking up. Anyway, you get the gist of what I'm saying. How to take them down. You know, you need one of them to take them down. There is, and there is still 12th of October and 28 degrees, man, I tell you. So, if you don't know who Jimmy Dore is, you've been on the wrong fucking, I don't know, I was going to say the wrong word there for a second. But anyway, you can check him out. He's got another guy on the show, the Kurt Metzger. He's funny as fuck as well. And another guy, Craig Pastula. And they're doing a lot of very good charity work, and they're exposing a hell of a lot of stuff that the American people aren't really hearing. But you all know who they are because they're on. They're going to come through in your feed because they're going to be talking about things. Kurt Metzger keeps referencing flat Earth all the time. So does Craig Pastula, and it's only going to be a matter of time before they get Dave Weiss on or somebody with a fucking massive audience. Anyway, my days begin every day with cutting grass right now because I had no gasoline for a long time, and now every morning I'm out cutting this very fucking long grass, you see, everywhere. And then after my breakfast I start thinking about this roof. So anyway, that was another short rant from the roof. And sheep in the next field. Fucking sheep in their cars and sheep living in their houses. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. Hope you enjoyed this little rant. When I get this work done, cleared up, I have a fucking list of videos to make, very important ones. I want to get it before the world ends and get them done. All right. Talk to you all soon. Love you all.